I want to start by being honest with you about something that took me 18 months to fully understand. I buried wood in my garden beds. I did it the way everyone told me to do it. I watched the videos. I read the hugelkultur guides. I dug deep trenches. I laid logs at the bottom. I covered them with leaves and compost and soil. I watered. I planted. And I watched an entire bed of vegetables struggle, yellow out, and barely produce, while the bed 10 feet away with no buried wood thrived. I tested my soil twice that first season. The pH had dropped from a neutral 7 down to 5.3. My brassicas were stunted. My beans looked pale, and I kept thinking it was me. That I had done something wrong with my watering or my fertilizer or my transplant timing. It wasn't. The wood I buried was poisoning the bed from below. Not all wood, 3 specific types. And here is what I did not know when I put them in the ground. Certain species of wood release chemical compounds when they decompose that are allelopathic. That means they actively suppress the growth of other plants. They do not just tie up nitrogen like all fresh wood does. They leach toxins, they drop your pH. They create an environment where seeds germinate poorly, roots grow shallow, and plants that do survive look good enough that you keep them, but never good enough to actually produce the way they should. I need you to stay with me on this one, because the 3 types of wood I am about to walk through are common. You have probably seen them in your yard. You may have been told they are fine to use as mulch or hugelkultur material, and if you bury them, they will quietly become your problem for longer than you think. Let me talk about black walnut first. Black walnut is the most well-documented allelopathic tree in North American gardening. The roots, the leaves, the bark, and especially the wood contain a compound called juglone. When black walnut wood decomposes underground, juglone leaches into the surrounding soil. It does not break down quickly. It persists. And it kills or severely stunts tomatoes, peppers, potatoes, eggplants, azaleas, rhododendrons, blueberries, and most members of the nightshade family. I buried black walnut logs in a bed where I planned to grow tomatoes the following spring. I did not know what species the wood was when I got it. A neighbor had a tree removed and offered me the trunk sections for free. I thought I was being resourceful. I thought I was building soil. The tomatoes I planted that spring germinated fine. They transplanted fine, and then they stopped. They did not wilt dramatically. They just sat there, leaves curled slightly at the edges. Growth slowed. Fruit set was weak. I pulled one plant mid-season and the roots were brown and stunted, even though the soil was moist and loose. I sent a soil sample to my local extension office and asked them to test for juglone. They did not have a test for it, but they walked me through the symptoms and asked what wood I had used. When I told them black walnut, they said that was the issue. Juglone can remain active in soil for up to 2 years after the wood is removed. I dug that bed out. I removed every piece of decomposing walnut I could find. I replaced the top 12 inches of soil, and I did not plant nightshades in that spot for another full season. Here is what nobody tells you at the point of sale. If someone offers you free firewood or logs and you do not know the species, do not bury it. Black walnut bark is dark and deeply furrowed. The wood itself is chocolate brown. If you are not sure, do not risk it. Wood number 2, eucalyptus. Eucalyptus trees are common in California, parts of the Southwest, and increasingly in southern coastal states. The leaves are famous for being allelopathic. They contain terpenes and phenolic compounds that suppress germination and seedling growth, but the wood carries those same compounds. I did not bury eucalyptus myself, but I spoke with a gardener in Northern California who did. She had access to eucalyptus logs from a neighbor's land clearing project. She buried them in a new raised bed, thinking the wood would hold moisture and add organic matter as it decomposed. Her lettuce germination rate that spring was under 20%. Her carrots did not germinate at all. She replanted 3 times. She thought it was the seed, she thought it was damping off. It was not. The eucalyptus wood was leaching terpenes into the soil, and those terpenes were preventing seeds from breaking dormancy. She pulled the wood after 4 months and sent soil samples to a university extension. They confirmed elevated levels of phenolic compounds and recommended she either replace the soil or wait a full growing season before replanting. Eucalyptus is not always labeled when sold as mulch or firewood. If you live in an area where eucalyptus grows and someone offers you wood chips or logs, ask. And if you are not certain, do not put it in your garden beds. Wood number 3, fresh pine, cedar, and other coniferous softwoods. Now, I know this one is controversial. A lot of gardeners use pine bark mulch on the surface with no issues. I am not talking about aged bark mulch. I am talking about fresh logs and branches buried whole while they still have high tannin and resin content. I buried fresh pine logs in a bed during a garden expansion. They were small diameter, maybe 4 to 6 inches, and I thought they would decompose quickly and feed the soil. What I did not account for was the tannin load. Tannins are acidic. When fresh conifer wood breaks down underground, it releases tannins into the surrounding soil. That drops your pH. For acid-loving plants like blueberries, that is fine. For most vegetables, it is not. My pH in that bed dropped from 6.8 to 5.1 over the course of one growing season. I grew brassicas in that bed the following spring. Broccoli, cabbage, kale. Brassicas prefer a pH between 6.5 and 7. At 5.1, they could not take up calcium properly. I had blossom end rot on my cabbage heads. The kale was pale and bitter. I added lime twice that season and could not get the pH back up until I removed the wood. Here is what I wish somebody had told me. If you want to bury conifer wood, age it first. Let it sit in a pile for at least a year, exposed to rain and air. Let the tannins leach out naturally before you put it underground. Fresh conifer wood, buried whole, will acidify your soil and tie up nitrogen at the same time. So here is what all 3 of these have in common. They do not just decompose slowly, they actively interfere with plant growth while they break down. That is different from hardwood species like oak or maple, which can also tie up nitrogen when fresh but do not release allelopathic compounds. Black walnut, eucalyptus, and fresh conifers are functionally toxic to many garden plants during decomposition. And here is what I did not know when I started burying wood. Not all organic matter is beneficial. The idea that you can bury any log and it will turn into rich, fertile soil is not accurate. Species matters, age matters. And if you bury the wrong wood in the wrong place, you will spend months troubleshooting problems that you created with good intentions. I am not saying hugelkultur does not work. I am saying it works when you use the right materials. Aged hardwoods like oak, maple, ash, and fruitwoods are safe. They decompose slowly, they hold moisture, they do not release toxins, but black walnut, eucalyptus, and fresh resinous conifers do not belong underground in a vegetable or ornamental bed. If you have already buried one of these 3, here is what I recommend. If your plants are struggling and you cannot explain why, dig down and check what is decomposing below the surface. If you find black walnut or eucalyptus, pull it. If you find fresh pine or cedar, pull it. You can compost it above ground where the tannins can leach into grass or pathways, but do not leave it where your vegetables are trying to root. If you cannot remove it, do not plant sensitive crops in that bed for at least one full season. Let the compounds break down, amend heavily with compost and lime if your pH has dropped, and test your soil before you replant. Drop a comment below. Tell me if you have buried wood in your garden beds and whether you noticed any pH drops or growth issues afterward. Your experience is worth more to the next gardener reading this than any YouTube video or blog post telling them hugelkultur is foolproof. If this is the kind of information you want before you spend money, time, and 18 months troubleshooting a bed that should have been productive, subscribe. This is exactly what gets covered here every week. I'll see you in the next video.